Hello, everyone. It's 4 o'clock, and I think that it's time to start our webinar. I will just give a few seconds to those who are late. My name is Julian Jelinski, and I will be your host for this evening and for this webinar. Still, I'm waiting for those late ones. Today, we'll talk about organizing your help desk, about offering high-quality support, creating a fully customizable customer portal, and all other issues that you will find very helpful if you choose an ITSM. And that's why both Adam and Lukas will focus on those issues while describing how to manage all the IT services in your organizations. A few words before we start. As we already had some issues with the Click meeting with our software, then if anything will happen, if there will be a problem with the software, don't worry. We will reschedule this webinar and maybe try a different tool. Also, if you will have any questions or any issues with audio or with video, don't hesitate, write it in the chat. It should be on your right, and I will try to respond as quickly as possible, whether it concerns like some technical stuff or anything else. What's also important, if you have any questions to our two hosts, Adam and Lukas, also write them down. We will answer them all at the end of the webinar. This will be the time of the Q&A, and we will try to read all those questions. If we will not have time to do it, then we will try to get back to you via email. Always there will be a possibility to ask those questions using the email address you will receive at the end of this webinar. Also, just to answer one question that always comes up, if you cannot be during the whole webinar, or if you want to revisit what we discussed here today, don't worry. The webinar will be available to you. You will get an email with a link to this webinar, so you could re-listen to it and do some notes or whatever you want. It's free past 4. So I think we can start. So I'm passing my I'm passing my voice to Adam and Lukas, who will talk about how to efficiently manage all IT services in your organizations. So go on, guys.
Hi, my name is Lukas. I'm here with Adam. We're both Atlassian engineers in Divinity. And as Julian mentioned, we're going to talk on how to efficiently manage all IT services in your organization. We're going to briefly discuss what ITSM actually is. We're going to discuss ITIL as well. We're going to mention the most common issues in our opinion. And of course, we're going to present you with a solution on how to resolve them.
And last but not least, we would want to present to you in what packages and what versions our solution comes to, and how you can implement them in all available versions and packages. So in order to introduce to you how we can even implement the ITSM in general and the practices, we need to define for ourselves what ITSM is. In general, it's a concept. With which refers to all of the activities, processes, and policies, and also procedures that are performed by your organization to design, implement, improve, and support your IT services. So in general, it's a group of good practices that can be used in order to improve and develop your own processes in your own company, and as a result to achieve the highest possible efficiency in processing all of those procedures. So if we want to talk what are the main benefits of the ITSM, we think that in most cases it's the defined roles and responsibilities for your company, for your support departments and IT departments. There are also that comes with the better services at a lower cost, which is very important for all of the companies, not only IT ones. It increases productivity after the implementation. It allows you to identify and address problems in a more efficient and effective way. And as a result of all of the points before, your end users are getting much higher satisfaction from resolving their issues and taking care of the requests.
Yes, so now let's just discuss what ITIL actually is. ITIL is an acronym for Information Technology Infrastructure Library, and it's a set of detailed practices for IT service management, ITSM, that focuses on aligning IT services with the needs of business. ITIL describes processes, procedures, tasks, or checklists that are not organization-specific or technology-specific, but they can be applied by organization towards a strategy delivering value and maintaining a minimum level of competency. It allows the organization to establish a baseline from which it can plan, implement, and measure. And it's used to demonstrate compliance and to measure improvement. There is no formal independent third-party compliance assessment available for ITIL compliance, and certification is only available for individuals. The four main processes of ITIL are a service request, which is a request from a user for information, advice, a standard change, or access to a service. Incident, which is an unplanned interruption to an IT service or reduction of the quality of an IT service. A problem, which is a cause or a potential cause of one of the more incidents. And change request, which is a formal proposal that can be submitted by a stakeholder in the organization or by a service via service desk, utilizing the service request fulfillment. So now we're going to discuss how ITSM can actually save the day. Now we're going to discuss most common issues. We'll list 6 of them. We're going to present the issue by itself, and then we're going to discuss and we'll show you how our solution can help you solve all of them. So the issues we're going to discuss is a lack of single point of contact, lack of central knowledge base, extended request handling process and manual issue distribution, lack of smooth integration with the email system, lack of unified time reporting, and difficulties in managing company assets.
So the first issue that is on my behalf to explain to you is the fact that most of the managers, when it comes to improving the work of their support teams, IT support teams, is the fact that it's really hard to maintain a high quality communication between the users, between the people who actually fill out the requests and reach out to the support teams. Is the fact that most of them tries to communicate between the support teams or to the support teams through the many different through the many different channels. And as a final result, there's a lot of chaos and it's hard to manage for everyone. What we need is one single point of contact. So the place where the users can, just after clicking one link and going for the one website or tab, they can just go in there, log in, and just fill out their requests or needs. And the main problems that comes up with lack of this single point of contact is the fact there are no customizable request forms. There is, in general, the view on that portals is misleading and non-UI friendly, and it's really hard to customize them in a way that is that's very easy to use for our end users. And last but not least is the fact that there's no smoothless integration between your email tool, support team, and the user in general. So what our solution comes up with is the customer portal, which is fully customizable at any point. You can configure You can configure, expand, and decide what type of categories of requests, what type of requests are visible to particular group of users. Users are able to search through those requests or categories just by clicking out or filling out the interesting phrases. They are able to find the types of requests that they are in need for to solve. And the application would hint them what kind of request they should and what kind of request they should fill out with. After they fill out the data, provides you the information that is available on that forms, then those users are well known who is responsible for that particular issue. They can see how much time the support team has left in order to solve it, and we can decide what type of information is available for our users. We are also able to define the so-called dynamic forms for our users. So if we are not sure that our users would provide us with enough information, and there's a risk that they need to communicate with us further, then we can provide them with dynamic forms. So that would mean, depending on the option they would fill out, that they pick on their lists or on their forms, they would be able to, the application would show them further fields of option. So after the request is created, there is no possibility, or there is a very slim chance that they would provide you with not enough information in order to start working with the issue right away. So in a quick summary, this solution, the ITSM, this application provides with customizable request forms. You are able to adjust the views on the customer portal, depends on the team and just the feel of it. How do you want to have it for your users? You can easily see the progress updates on the requests, so the users are not in the dark anymore. They see what's the status of their request. It's very easy to use for them, or we can configure it that way so it can be improved each and every day. And there is integrated communication between email and portal, so the users are going to see the changes of the request they would receive, for example, a notification about the change of the status.
Yes, another big problem companies are having is lack of unified time reporting. So we're quite often relying on reports that are just way too general, or the solution we're using is just outdated. Users can spend way too much time on actually reporting the time instead of working. Reports can be illegible, unreliable. We're not able to track what's actually happening in our company. We don't know how much time was spent on each project, on each task, so we're not able to determine where we're spending money and if the money is being spent correctly on our work. So the solution we offer for this is advanced time reporting that's really easy to use for users. Users can log work in multiple ways. They can connect third-party calendars like Google or Office 365 to their schedule. It gives a powerful reporting solutions, so we're able to see where the time was spent, on which issue, on which task, what was most time consuming. So you always know what your staff is currently doing. You can quickly review their work, you can approve it, you can reject their timesheet, as you have full control over it. You can plan your time ahead, and you can use integration with Jira dashboards, so you can create widgets. You'll be able to see what's happening. You can just customize them, so they will show you exactly what you need at the moment. So just a quick summary. What it gives you: advanced customizable reports, unified time reporting. You always have idea of what's happening. You can accept your time reports with just one click. You're able to report time per issue, per customer. So the solution will always let you know what's happening at the company and who's working on what.
And as I mentioned before, when we try to implement the best IT processes, IT management in our companies, we are able to increase the productivity of communications between our users and between our support teams. But what comes up next? How can we efficiently manage the huge amount of issues that are producing each and every day? They are coming up from different projects. They have different statuses. It's really hard to keep track of those statuses for those issues. And also, it's really hard to provide the managers with the one single view of all of the issues from all of the different projects at one table and one viewable table or diagram. And also, it's hard for the support teams to see and manage their work schedule, workload, what needs to be done, and what is the status of the current requests and what they actually have to do. So what we propose is the pro-configured queues. We can provide from the day it is launched. This solution allows you to use the one unified view for all of the issues in your company. You are able to see the issues from all of the different projects that you want to see. You can group them by statuses, so we can not only see the projects from issues from different projects, but also we can see what is the status of those projects. And we can also configure the permissions for particular groups of users. So there would be no more confusion between different support teams of the agents that are working on the applications, what is assigned to them or what not. And also managers have the easy to use tool or view, so they don't have to open more tabs or try to configure more views just to apprehend huge amount of issues they have to manage. They just have one unified view, and it is ready from the day the solution is launched. And also it can be customized and defined more during the usage of the application. So as a result of implementing the solution, you'll receive unified views for your issues from different projects. You'll get individual adjusted filters for displaying your tickets, so you can decide what information from requests are visible to you. And last but not least, it's easy. You receive easy to use view for your support teams and their managers, so everybody knows what they have to do and what is the status of the things that are to do.
Yes, so the next issue we're going to discuss is unorganized request handling process for multiple systems. Companies work on multiple different applications on multiple different systems, but they do not have one system that control all use services. There's no monitoring tool for what we're currently using in the company. There's a lack of critical incident management, and of course, no Jira integration for third-party applications. So what we came up with is a solution that allows you to consolidate and cluster all alerts between different monitoring tools. With this, you'll be able to track and analyze the whole incident response process. So you'll have everything in one place. And what you can do is you can create a roster for a support team. So if the major incident will actually happen, the system will first try to notify a person who's currently working. It will check how many other issues it's working on, and it will assign it to the agent who has a least amount of open tickets. If no one will be able to acknowledge the critical issue within the period of time you can just create here, the on-call agent will be notified via phone, via email. So you'll always be you'll always know that someone is actually working on your critical issue, that there's something happening in the company, and your team is working on it. The integration by itself allows to connect more than 200 different platforms. You can connect Jira, you can connect Amazon services, you can connect Google and many, many others. You can also use webhooks. You can also use a status page, which allows you to show your customers, internal or external, what's happening, if there was any issue within the company, if any service was affected by it. You can show what's happening. You can show your customers that someone is actually working on it. And as you can see, your customers always can check how your services were performing in a given time period. So just to summarize this, what it gives you is you have everything in one place. It's easy to manage. You have phone, text, email, alerts, more than 200 integrations. You can create team rosters. Information can flow between the integrations from status page to Jira. And you're always able to notify your customers what's actually happening in your company. If it's working, then it's good. If not, your customers will know what actually happened and why the service is down.
So I said before that we can improve the communications between users and support teams. So we can improve the efficiency of work of our IT support teams. But the next thing that always comes up is the fact that most of the issues or the requests that are coming from our users are duplicates. Most of them can be solved in some way or another, or in a very similar way that the issues, that those particular issue were solved in the past. And also there's a problem with the fact that our support teams of our user have this massive amount of knowledge that is really hard to browse through. It's non-structurized, so sometimes in order to reach an answer for a really simple question, at the very least in taking in accordance our business processes or our experience, it's really hard to reach out for the answer, to find the person who can provide us with the knowledge. We need to call people, send emails, send some public message on our communicators like Slack or any other solution that we can use. It's the fact that it's really hard to have all of this if we don't have our one central knowledge base. And the solution that we provide is the one that comes up with the integrated central knowledge base called Confluence. Thanks to that, our users, let's start with them. Our users, when they log into the customer portal, are able to search through our base of knowledge just by writing down the fragment of the phrase or the problem that they want to find solution for. And as a result, the application would hint them what articles are relevant for the issues, for the problems. They can log into them, open that in a new tab, read something, and maybe it solves the problem. So as a result, they won't have to create another request, and they can even choose if the article was helpful to them, so we can track the effectiveness of those articles and expand it. We need to, it also provides you with the possibility to configure this knowledge base in a way that allows only particular departments or groups of users to have an access to the particular articles. So there's no more confusion if the finance department needs to find answers just only for them, like for example, connected with their application system or even with the office equipment that they have. And between the more specialized users like system administrators or network administrators, which would need more specified, more technical articles. So after they would search through this base of knowledge, they would be able to see it. It also helps with solving the requests that are already done. It not only prevents from the requests to being written down, it also helps to solve them, because after we integrate our base of knowledge with this application, after the request is created, the application would hint us also what articles are related to this particular request. So even if the request was done, and already needs to be solved, then the agent responsible for it just would need to click the associated link and would see the proposed solution of what can he do, and just get experience from our company. And of course, this base of knowledge can be always expanded and configured in a way that we see fit. So to summarize, after implementing the solution, we receive a shortened time, shortened work time for our users and agents in solving the issues. We've got easy to use library to search for suggested solutions for that issues. We can display issue reports from the application, so we can see what applications are relevant to the articles. And as I've mentioned at the end, we can have different workspaces for different user groups. So we can configure the permissions for particular sets of articles in our company.
Yes. So another issue companies are having is actual difficulties in managing company resources. Usually, there is no centralized system that allows you to manage your both hardware and software. Sometimes companies are using really outdated solutions to track equipment like Excel sheets. A lot of companies don't check, for example, software licenses at all. So some of them are just waiting to get an email that your license will expire in a few days, and that's all they're doing. So what we came up is a really easy to use solution that allows you to manage both your hardware and software in one place. It's fully customizable. You can add existing assets, you can create new ones, you can scan your network. So the software will actually check what equipment are you using, and it will be added to the application, so you'll be able to see everything in one place. You can assign both software and hardware to users, so you always know who's using what. You can fully customize each piece, so you can add as many information as you need to properly manage all the operations. Users are able to create tickets. Tickets will be assigned to the software, to the hardware, so we can always check what's happening with the software or the hardware with any equipment. You'll know that there was an issue, or during the life cycle of the product there weren't any. You can add as many fields as you like. You can create as many relations as you'd like. So it will always show what you need to fully manage the operations. So just to sum it up, what it gives you is you have everything in one place. It's really easily accessible. You can always track what's happening. You can print label. You can easily manage your hardware, software, and it's a fully customizable solution.
And the last but not least issue that I want you to be familiar with and how the solution can solve it for you is the issue with the lack of integration between your email and email processes and your company ticketing systems in general. Because I've mentioned before that we are able to really provide the best solution available according to the standards that are certified in a worldwide way. But even though we've got these perfect solutions, we can fully automate the work of our support teams. We can make them read for the notifications. We can improve our best knowledge and so on. It's still the problem, the fact that most of the departments are very familiar with their mail tools, and they're not fond of trying to move all of the communication on the new system, on the customer portal, or anything else. They want to use emails. They want to see the notifications by email. They want to have personalized email templates, and they want to have this flawless integrations between the tools. I've mentioned before that a single point of contact, the customer portal, offers you in some way a notifications for that system. So you will receive a simple notification from the application that something changed with your status. But what is more? What can be done more for that? We can the solutions that we came up with allows you to firstly create customizable templates in HTML, so we can easily decide what type of information from the issue reaches out to the user. It's that information can be fully personalized, so everyone will receive the knowledge according to their data or the parameters of the users. It also allows agents to easily send out the mail to the user, to the reporter of the issue. He can use the previously configured templates, so he can define it a little bit more for its own use and can save it and use it later. So as a result, we just create templates, and your agents won't have to lose any more time in order to write down those personalized emails or even try to communicate with the users. And I think what's the most important feature here is the fact that we can configure the application in a way that would automatically send the mail notification to your user after some kind of change happens to the request. So for example, if the status of the request would comes up with please check out the solution, or if the comment would be added, or what kinds of attachment would be added, then application would automatically send the mail notification to your user. It would see the perfectly customized information from the issue. So the user won't have to log into the personal computer or do anything else. He just needs to open his or her mobile device, check the email, and he knows everything that needs to be known about his issue. So in a quick summary, what the solution gives you in terms of mails and integration, it gives you fully customizable email templates by HTML. It gives you direct integration between your email and ticketing tools. And it's not only about sending out the information from the system, it's also about sending in and the updates information to the system from the email, and the ability to quickly forward email notifications with personalized emails that comes up with the templates, of course. So as a result, your users would always receive the most important information about the issue, and it's the information personalized strictly for them.
Yes, so as a quick recap of what we talked, we listed 6 biggest problems in our opinion, and we showed you the way that, in our opinion as well, are the best way to solve them. So I hope this webinar is really useful for you. I hope all the problems that we showed you are the problems you're having at your company as well. So now you'll be able to know how to actually solve them.
And our solution comes up with 3 different packages. Those names of the packages you can see on the screen. I don't want to introduce to you in a more detailed way about what are the differences between those packages. For those questions, I strongly encourage you to contact us after the webinar is done. We can easily talk about the differences. Just for your information, all of the solutions to the problems, a lot of the features that we've talked about with Łukasz today were done for the enterprise solution.
Yes, and we also created our solution for 3 different hosting options that will match your company. So we can choose if you would like to use a solution based on Jira Cloud or Jira Server, or you can use a hybrid solution, so you will have all the customization that Jira Server gives you and host it on a cloud server, for example, on Google or AWS.
So to sum up, what is the Devinity ITSM solution? We thought that we can sum it in 3 main bullet points that bestly describes this application. It gives you, the day after the implementation, it gives you the best ITL practices ready to use from the day one the solution is implemented. You are no more wasting time thinking, how can I create or improve my IT department? You'll receive the best features available from the moment it is started, and you're getting ready to use that tool, and you receive a package of trainings. So there's no more losing time for the extensive scholarships or analysis. How can we use the tool? You'll receive you're fully prepared to use it from the day one. And for that, with this happy note, I would like to end this part of the webinar and the presentation. thank you very much on your time, for spending time with us, for hearing us out. We'll invite you to ask us questions.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you both for such a beautiful presentation. And now we have time for some questions from you. If you have anything you would like to ask, just please write your question in the chat below. I will wait for a minute if there is any. If there is not, once again, I will reiterate that you will get an email with the webinar, whether you joined us just for the last 2 minutes, 10 minutes, or maybe you haven't been able to get here, but you registered. Don't worry, everything will be delivered to you. And remember also that you can contact us via email with more specific questions, with more questions about the Divinity's ITSM solution. So we are all open, and we know that the times are changing, and especially now, a solution like this could be very useful. I see that 2 people are writing their questions right now. That's why I'm still waiting, and we have a few minutes left. I think around 10 minutes left. So we can wait. Unless those are not questions and just thank yous, then it will be also very, very, very fine. Oh, that's what I thought. Thank you. This is the problem with Yuri, Lisi, probably. I will thank you very much for your kind words. I hope everyone liked the presentation. And as still I see 1 person writing, I'm still waiting for this question or for this chat here. This could be a very long question because he or she's been writing for a long time now. So let's prepare, guys. Bring on your game face. Okay. Okay. So the question is, how many tools Jira SD Genie does the ITSM solution include?
Well, in total, it uses a few tools that we combine to create a solution that can be easily used. So the number actually changes depending on the option you'd like to use.
Okay, so yeah, I think that this is a flexible number, and it also depends on what are the needs of your company. So that's the most important thing here. So I think, like, if you would like to get more information on that, just how customizable it would be, and then just please contact us via email, and we'll get back with you with more specific information related to your specific business. I see again that we're having. And this will be our last question. And the last question is, how many people are required on site to support it? Guys?
Yes, sorry. So the number of people required on site, that's just the number of Jira agents that you have on your support team. So you do not have to increase anything. If you already have any support in your company, they should be able to fully manage all the whole solution by themselves.
So the solution, I would also like to add that solution is very scalable, so it can be efficiently used for the 5 agents, for example, but also would be very much likely to use in the most efficient way for the teams in higher numbers.
Yeah, that's an important point, that it's not a solution that will, the ITSM solution will not usually will not require to expand your IT team. Probably the biggest thing that it will require to learn the solution, and that's all basically. Its goal is not to give you more work, but to smooth it over. Okay, I don't see anyone writing. I already, in the chat, you can see our email, atlassian@devinity.com. So you can, of course, email us there. I would once again like to thank you all and thank Adam and Lucas for the great presentation. And I hope we'll see each other during some other webinar, or maybe Divinity's action or event. Thank you very much and have a great time.
Goodbye.